The last time I had sex with the guy I'm seeing, I cried. What the fuck? Am I okay? I have a bad gag reflex and find it affects how good I am at going down on a guy. What can I do that doesn't involve me feeling like I'm about to vom? The things you read in Cosmopolitan. Anyways, living for this lighting from my laptop though. Like, look at my eyes. Let's get that magazine out of the way. So, before I get into the video, Swarovski necklace, Sofia Vergara ring, this ring, versus by Versace watch. Watch those reviews, like I always say. But today's going to be a fragrance review. I reviewed the first one in this, like, trilogy of fragrances by Khloe and Lamar, which is Unbreakable, which was changed to Unbreakable Bond. So you can watch that review before you watch this one if you want or whatever. That was a long time ago. I think I made that video like 2 or 3 times on like several different channels. So, but this one's gonna be on Unbreakable Love just because of the spirit of Valentine's Day. I was gonna do the red holiday version because I red and Valentine's, but this one said love in it, so I was like, let's just stay with the love. So, Unbreakable Love, Chloe Lamar for women and men. Of course, this fragrance like series or whatever collection is like a unisex fragrance, so both women and men can use it and stuff like that. And this is how the first one looks in like a miniature version. Let me like actually see if you can see it in a way. So that's what it looks like. I mean, obviously just in this size, but if you want to know, like that's a little comparison of like the miniature collectible. I think I got this one when I bought this one at Sears. It was like at the top, and I think when I bought it at Sears when it first came out, I think it was like $30 or it could have been $40, and it was just like the 3.4 ounce of this at the top. And then I kind of only bought this for this, but I know you can get this in the Unbreakable Bond gift set. I want to say it's on clearance at Perfumania because I know the gift set for this one was like $16.48 at Perfumania clearance, but that's only online. And I don't know if there's ever an Unbreakable Joy gift set. I don't think so. And I know this is like the only Unbreakable that they ever made into a small collectible version, so you can look for those. But let's get into it. So, some of the main accords are citrus, musky, aromatic, warm, spicy, and woody. Married couple Khloe Kardashian Odom and Lamar Odom launched their first joint fragrance, Unbreakable, now renamed Unbreakable Blonde, in 2011. The fragrance has experienced rapid success, and so did its festive limited edition Unbreakable Joy, which I will review maybe tomorrow on Valentine's Day, from 2012. In February 2013, they messed up here. The couple will delight their fans with the new fragrance called Unbreakable Love. This new creation is described as a lively and sensual fragrance vortex for women and men. Its top notes include delicate exotic neroli and citrus freshness of bergamot, associated with floral heart and deep notes of cedar and musk. That was a mouthful. So that's weird. I've never heard like a sensual fragrance vortex. That's actually a cool like thing of words put together, as they say. Anyways, let's get into it. So, the notes again. Neroli, bergamot, cedar, and musk. That only looks like 4 notes in all reality, but I don't know. Let's get into it. Lily of the Valley. Okay, this website is just trash. Fragrant to go, like, what the heck. So, like, kind of floating over the icons here, I see Lily of the Valley and Tonka Bean again. So, Lily and the Valley and Tonka Bean were what was in Unbreakable Bond, the first one, so it kind of has like a similar faint trace of Unbreakable Bond, the original, and both of them do. But this one, I think, was more Chloe. Because with Unbreakable Bond and Unbreakable Joy, you kind of had it more leaning towards, I think, the men's side. And they were somewhat sweet and colonial, like they had like an oil scent to them. And I'd probably say more the Unbreakable Blonde had like an oil, like it was more sensual. Kind of like how Nicki Minaj described her Pink Friday fragrance. And I feel Unbreakable Joy, the holiday version, was more kind of like airy chocolate champagne. And this one, to me, just smells like fresh cut grass, but with a very, very, very light touch of like that overpowering white floral. And that is probably because of Lily of the Valley and stuff like that. So, getting into it, this is again the bottle. It just says Unbreakable Love with a little Chloe and Lamar insignia right there. You can probably barely see it. Blue bottle, like I said, this one was clear, the yellow liquid, and the other one is a red bottle all the way like this, just in red. So, getting into it again with the design. I really don't know what is up with my cat, but it has like all these like little holes or something. But there is a little insignia on the top, Khloe and Lamar. And let's spray it now. So, this is a really strong scent. It kind of tastes like it smells like what warheads taste like. And I want to say probably like the green apple one or something. Like, it smells like sour candy, and I can't put my finger on which candy, but hopefully you, like, taste it. So, the top notes are delicate, exotic, neroli, and citrus freshness, and bergamot. I probably say that is true because bergamot is a very kind of like lime citrus smell. So if you've ever like smelled like, I want to say beer salt, like it has that strong lime scent. It's a very unique scent and it's very distinguishable among other scents. So if you've ever smelled that, you are going to notice that very tart, sour candy, beer salt kind of smell at the very top. But because the bergamot is paired with the neroli, neroli is kind of, it's there but it's not. I think it's kind of there just to kind of make the bergamot stand out a bit, but not really complement it, not really overpower it, not really mix with it, but just, I feel it's kind of like musk and Madonna's Truth or Dare scent. Like, if it was without musk, the fragrance really wouldn't, it was the glue that held the fragrance together, and if there was no musk in that scent, it would have like, and I feel that's what the neroli does from the top to the bottom. So, neroli isn't like a base note, and it's not a heart note, because like you would have had like a very fast transition, I believe, and you'd probably kind of have the tonka bean overpower the bergamot, like if you had it. I would assume paired as it was an Unbreakable Bond, but either way, you're going to get a very, 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 very sharp citrusy lime beer salt opening. Like I said, you have traces of Unbreakable Bond, so if you can imagine that like beer salt opening that's very sour, sour candy smell, think of the very subtle sweetness of like a vanilla chocolate smell, because that is what tonka bean is. It's kind of like a hybrid scent of like vanilla and chocolate. So vanilla by itself is a very sweet, thick scent. Chocolate by itself is almost more airier and a bit more sweeter, but both scents like are very distinguishable when mixed together with the bergamot. It's kind of like you get like a very sweet, sour smell. And when I say sweet and sour smell, I'm thinking about sweet and sour chicken. Like a very sweet and sour smell. Just think of almost, I don't know, I want to say Chinese food, but I feel like that's racist. um, hmm. I want to say something like eucalyptus. If you've ever smelled eucalyptus, this is kind of what this fragrance smells like. And at the same time, it's very fresh, it's very airy, and it's very kind of clean, but out of the shower clean. And when I say out of the shower clean, it's like leaning towards, I want to say Daisy by Marc Jacobs, Jennifer Aniston's first fragrance, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue for Women, kind of the top note of Nicki Minaj, maybe the Paris Hilton for Men, just a tad bit, and the Ed Hardy for Men, the blue bottle. And I think that's it. I'm like looking at all my fragrances to kind of give you all something to like bounce off of. But I'd probably say more in the line of Jennifer Aniston, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue for Women. Not really an Aqua de Joya. But if you can think of like Jennifer Aniston and Dolce Gabbana Light Blue, how they kind of have like very, very, very strong, dominant scents, in the sense of there's one note that you're really smelling throughout the whole fragrance. Now with Jennifer Aniston, you smell more like of a sandalwood beachy smell, and with the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue for Women, you kind of smell the same thing you smell here, but in this scent, like I said, it does have that clean, fresh, just got out of the shower kind of connotation or context around the fragrance. But it's always going to have that like tonka bean and lily of the valley sweet, floral, like creeping up on you kind of smell, because when I said this was more Khloe, I feel Khloe kind of went for a more fresher scent that wasn't too much on the masculine, powdery side. Because I felt with Unbreakable Bond and Unbreakable Joy, it was very much like a Lamar scent. Like, I felt like he had more say in it. and Khloe catered more to like the male scent because obviously I think a unisex fragrance can be very hit and miss. Like if you really look at like CK1, it's very much tailored towards men and not really women. Even though I think Mia Jovovich was like the face for it. And with Unbreakable Joy, I felt like it kind of had like a men's like lotion smell to it. You know, I felt it's like something we've smelled on the market before, and that's why it wasn't like a groundbreaking unisex fragrance, but more or less of something that people had already kind of, I would say, grew up with. But also, of course, like there's always that stigma that like if it's a Kardashian fragrance or something, it's obviously for women. But I think Unbreakable Bond and Unbreakable Joy could have really passed as just men's scents, and Unbreakable Love would have been more the woman's. But I feel this one would be like, unisex, you know, because it's like a fresher smell. But I felt like maybe it wouldn't have sold that much. So, kind of a good idea that they kind of kept this as like the last fragrance as far as it is, because we all know that trouble with Khloe and Lamar. Like they're together but they're not or something like that. I don't know. So who knows if there ever be any more fragrances? But I feel like there won't. So back again to this fragrance as I go on off different tangents. Like I said, it does have the floral heart and the deep notes of cedar and musk. Now, that lime smell is going to very much intertwine with cedar. And like I said with Madonna's Truth or Dare, the musk I think in this fragrance kind of helps alleviate that bergamot and complement the tonka bean and lily of the valley because musk is very, it's like a skin scent. So that skin scent kind of helps it cling to your skin, but it's also going to bring out more of like a sweeter note or a woodier note or kind of like a floral note. Like it just plays with other notes in the fragrance. And I feel the way it plays with Lily of the Valley and Tonka Bean here is that Tonka Bean, like I said, a vanilla chocolate hybrid smell with almost that white florally creamy vanilla smell. So that's where like the vanilla kind of mixes in with the Lily of the Valley, and the musk kind of comes in with that chocolate smell because when you get into cedar and bergamot, like I said, it's going to be a very lime, beer salt smell that we've all smelled before, where it's very tart, like I said, almost like a sour candy. And cedar wood, it's kind of a very sharp, citrus smelling wood. So sandalwood, if you've ever smelled it, it's very beachy. It's a very textured, sandy fragrance. No, and again with cedar, if you've ever like been in like a cedar forest or anything, it's kind of like a pine tree smell. You know, pine trees kind of have like a very, very, very sharp, distinct smell, as do most wooden smells that you smell in fragrances. But I think with cedar, not only will you see it a little bit more in a citrus fragrance, but like kind of sparingly, it kind of, I think, would say overpowered by the bergamot in general, because bergamot, I think, kind of just, I think it just overpowers this fragrance. And I know here on Fragrantica, a lot of people say like the biggest note is like musk. And then like you get into like Lily of the Valley and you get into neroli and cardamom and tonka bean and bergamot and cedar. But in all reality, I really think that it's more backwards. So like I said, the cedar paired with the bergamot, I think you have like a very like sour opening. You're gonna have like a very sour ending in this case, and that's why I said it kind of stays consistent the whole life of the fragrance. And again, it being such a light, airy fragrance, it's not a fragrance that's gonna last you like a Acqua di Gioia or a Dolce and Gabbana, where not only is it light and airy, but it also I think is more concentrated because I feel this one isn't as concentrated in like the essential oils that make up this fragrance. And I do also think that they use too much like kind of top note scents. You know, like they didn't really have a standard base note or a standard kind of heart note to like really kind of keep the fragrance grounded for anything longer. And getting into that, I think you're only gonna have like maybe a 5 hour window that this fragrance is gonna like be there. Because I say since it is so consistent, it doesn't like dry down to something. It doesn't dry down to like a Lily of the Valley and tonka bean kind of smell where it's gonna smell like a tart chocolate and vanilla smell. Like you're not gonna get anything literally but what you smell when you spray. And when you do spray it, talking about sillage, which is like how much people around you can smell it, I think right away when you spray it, kind of like with the Paris Hilton for men, I think it's gonna be very obviously you are very obvious that you've sprayed something and very obvious that like it's a very sharp, fresh note, and it's gonna be very, very, very like when people pass by because they're gonna smell something that's so fresh and so like again out of the shower and kind of like those pine tree smells and like lemon smells that were so accustomed to and accustomed like cleaning products and such, that it's going to be very, it's going to give off that like appearance that you really are like a fresh soul, I guess. And saying that, I think it can be overpowering to some instances, because I know sometimes people don't really like those like very, very strong like clean smells, because they kind of remind them again of cleaning products. And I know that was kind of with me with the Dolce Gabbana light blue for women, because I like the one for men because it has that, I think the sandalwood brings down like kind of like the bergamot and cedar smell that you kind of smell here in Unbreakable Love. But with, I don't know, just the Dolce Gabbana light blue for women was just too like lime for me, and that's what I feel this is. But I think because it has cedar, there is that like sandalwood effect in this fragrance. And again, like sandalwood, I think kind of, I think it complements it, even though cedar is used sparingly. I think sandalwood is kind of like a staple among a citrus fragrance, because it just, not only does it add a bit of masculinity to it, but if you play with it very right, you can make it very masculine or very feminine, and even add to the like the tart, sour, citrus factor of the whole fragrance in general. So again, you're gonna get a very, very, very like hard, loud, strong citrus smell, lime, beer salt, warhead candy almost. It's gonna soften up just a bit to a chocolate vanilla kind of like hint that you're gonna be like, if you really smell like close and kind of pay close attention to that scent, as it develops, you're gonna smell it. But I think, in all honesty, the cedar kind of overpowers the whole fragrance because it adds to that bergamot smell. So again, when you get to cedar, like at the end, the cedar smell, it really isn't anything but bergamot and cedar if you really want to look at the scent. But I think bergamot kind of overpowers it, because you do have that woody smell, but I think that limey, tart, sour, work candy smell is just the whole fragrance. So if you don't really like a sour fragrance that's very strong and fresh and kind of like a field of literally fresh cut grass kind of smell with just a bit of sweetness, you probably won't like this fragrance. But again, if you do kind of like Jennifer Aniston, Dolce & Gabbana light blue for women, and maybe Paris Hilton for men, you may like the scent, just because I think it is very playful of a scent. And at the same time, I do see men and women wearing this scent more than I kind of would the other two, because I feel the other two are more like a men's scent, you know? They're really not like a woman's scent. Like, of course, you can wear whatever scent you want, but it, like, smelling it, it doesn't smell like something women would really wear, you know? Like, they wouldn't reach for it over something else. But I feel like men and women can wear this, and when I say men and women, when I look at the scent, it's clean, it's fresh. I think of, like, people who are, like, at a beach wearing all white, but then again, not really, like, probably, like, somewhere in the Hamptons, where it's not really too much of a beach or a lake, but it's more like cottages and, like, almost foresty or something like that, you know, because of the cedar factor in this fragrance. And again, you can play it off with, I think, leading up to the winter months, but I don't really think this is a fragrance that you would really wear in the winter, because, like I said, you can wear any fragrance you want any time of the year, but I feel like this one would kind of be a little, like, off, you know. They'd be like, like someone smells, like, really, like, fresh or springy, and you're kind of, like, in the middle of, like, winter or something. That, like, I don't know, like, it really wouldn't, like, jive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But again, you're really going to get a sour cedar, bergamot, lime, beer salt smell for about 5 hours, and the sillage is going to be very strong in the beginning, but it's really going to fade away very fast. As strong as it comes off is as weak as it lasts, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But again, I'd probably say Dolce & Gabbana light blue for women. If you kind of like that smell, you probably would reach for this scent. I'd probably just say Dolce & Gabbana light blue for women is probably a better scent, but if you want it, like, let's say, like, a cheaper version of it in a bigger bottle, like I said, $16.48 on perfumania.com clearance, and pretty sure you can even find, like, even maybe a better deal on Amazon or, like, FragranceNet or something like that. So just look around, and no, they sold it at, I want to say Big Lots, but I think Burlington Coat Factory, they always sell Kardashian fragrances, so you may find it, because I remember finding Kim Kardashian's Honey, and I kind of want to go back to see what they had, but again, $16.48 for the gift set on perfumania.com. Not a sponsored video, I just try to help you guys out. And again, here's a comparison to the little collector's edition. So again, tart, sour, beer salt, lemon candy smell that you're going to get basically for about 5 hours. It's going to be very strong in the first 15 minutes, maybe 10. Maybe I'm being too gracious. And probably say something you kind of want to wear, of course, more spring and summer. Obviously, more in the day, because I really don't feel this would be a very good night scent. Because one, it's very airy. Two, it's very, yes, even though, like I say, it's fresh, it's not that transitionable. Like, you're just going to smell like the daytime, you know, and like transitioning into like a night scent. You kind of want something a little bit more heavy, a little bit more muskier that's going to like kind of cling and like let other people know like you're kind of there. So again, if you smell Dolce & Gabbana light blue, then you kind of get an idea of what this smells like with that lime kind of like vibe that it has going on. But like I said, very, very light, not gonna last you too long. It's very strong in the beginning, very, very weak as the day goes by, and kind of just probably say like a clean linen scent if you really want to simplify it. So if you ever smell like a clean linen Lysol smell, like just think of that with just a touch of sweetness. I know I'm like changing it so much. But again, like even now, like it's very much faded and you can't really smell it in the room. So like I said, maybe 5 hours is kind of pushing it, but I know that's kind of more or less what I've kind of gotten. But of course, if it's a hotter day, you're going to find yourself reapplying the fragrance more. And if it's like a coolerish day, kind of like when you're not really into spring and it's not really winter, but it's kind of like in between, it kind of lasts a little bit more. You know, like when the sun's like out, like there's like a cool wind that's like kind of continuously blowing. I think that's like when you'll get the most like bam out of your fragrance in a way. So I hope you like this review. I know sometimes my reviews are a little long and stuff, and I may sound a little bit repetitive and like, but I also try to like point out other fragrances that I have to kind of like give you guys like a point of origin to come off to. So again, I hope you really like this fragrance review, and I want to say hi to Rami Malek and stay safe and God bless. And there's one person that I wanted to thank that kind of like told me to do more videos, and I think she commented, I don't remember which video she commented on, but I think the channel is Jessica Rios. And I think she has like a picture of like one of the girls from Fifth Harmony. I don't remember her name. That girl from Fifth Harmony, and that's so bad because I remember I was going to meet them one day. Yeah, Jessica Rios. She commented on my Madonna Truth or Dare Naked Fragrance. She just said, yo, do more videos and stuff. And I was like, yeah, of course. So thank you, Jessica Rios, for saying that I should do more videos, because making sometimes the fragrance reviews, I feel like they flop, like the Katy Perry Royal, I was going to say Royal Desire, but that's so not what it is. Killer Queen fragrance. So again, this video is just me blabbing on. So again, I want to say hi to Rami Malek. Stay safe and God bless. And I may do this third fragrance, Unbreakable Joy, tomorrow on Valentine's Day, because yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to go to the Becky G concert though at the rodeo. So there could either be a Becky G video or there could be a fragrance review. You just don't really know what's going to happen, you know. Just going to decide last minute to go, you know, like see her and meet her again, because it'll be fun. But anyways, again, hi to Rami Malek. Stay safe and God bless you guys. So hi Rami Malek, I love you, babe.